What is the difference between a poorly dressed man on a unicycle and a sharply dressed man on a bicycle?
One really good time.
Attire.
Oh, very good.
That took a minute.
That did take a minute, a little bit more.
It's a bit late in the day.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of That's Class, a podcast about things we find class, hosted by three of your favourite class holes. As always, I'm Ruaridh Kidd, joined by the Hasbro lover himself, Duncan Malcolm.
Hello.
And the reigning fantasy football champion, manager of Team Throbbencock, Eddie Ashcroft.
Hello.
Hello.
I'd like to introduce my my consultant over here. I've got a Milo with me on the desk. He's
Eddie famously hating
his,
the audio listeners once again.
Yeah.
I'm not...
Who or what is Milo? We don't know.
Milo, he's an internet celebrity. It's Milo the cat. He's he's the tuxedo kitten. He is the spit of Felix the cat from the Felix cat food. So much so that the Felix cat food cat is based off Milo.
Right, okay.
Wow, how old is Milo?
Yeah. 2.
2?
Yeah, 2. Is he 2? Yeah, 2.
Nice one.
Is he a clone?
He's the OG.
Is the OG?
He's the OG Felix, but his real name is Milo.
Yeah.
Milo, and he's younger than the original Felix as well.
So he's going to be offering his thoughts and opinions on the topics today.
Oh, that'd be good. He doesn't seem too bothered. He's just looking out the window.
Looking out
Is
the
he
window.
going to tell us what you've... Go on.
What? I was going to do the same joke. He's going to
tell
tell
us
us
possum.
Oh no.
Oh.
He's gonna tell you whether it's been perfect or not.
Perfect.
I think that's worse than Duncan's dad jokes.
Hey, y'all don't say that.
You don't say that.
Eddie just got his joke in first by a whisker.
Hey.
Oh, very good. Duncan's too good at this. You're too much of a dad.
What can I say? The cat's got Duncan's tongue.
So straight off the bat, boys, I just want to say, long-time listener of the podcast, just got engaged. Just want to say, congrats, Patty.
Yeah.
You're probably listening to this on your
Patty.
tractor. Congrats, man. I hope we're all invited to the wedding. If we're not, then you're dead to me.
That's it.
If we're not, let's put it this way, if we're not invited, it's going to be on. You'll hear about it on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. What if we bring a nice like 5? What is it that Boehner had? Like a 5-liter bottle of tequila.
Oh, at least.
We should give Patty that again, because remember when Patty drank that and then said he was just a bit ill
That
or
was
something?
definitely was the cigars. Definitely.
Applesauce has been a previous kryptonite for him as well.
I know. It was so funny. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
People of the podcast community, are you excited? Because we are excited. We are going to review today basically everything that is, well, not everything that has happened within E3 over the last weekend. We're basically going to talk about 2 things that we got really, really excited about, and 2 things that we probably couldn't really care less about. And I think my picks are a bit controversial because people went absolutely mental for it.
All right.
Fuck.
So, what do you reckon? Shall we just dive straight in?
I think we should just dive straight in.
Who wants to go first?
Let's dive straight in, but you got somebody else go first. I'll go first. I'll go first.
Shock a nut.
I don't want to go first. I'll go first. So the one thing that kind of Xbox obviously had a decent E3, and they have 3 of their sort of ones that I kind of, and Eddie and I obviously both play Xbox. He's kind of got different ones to what I've got, which is good on the list. I really liked Sea of Thieves, and I wanted to bring this up because Sea of Thieves is a pirate, kind of cartoony pirate game. That's the only way I can really describe it. You sail the Sea of Thieves and you hunt for treasure, and it's very Pirates of the Caribbean. And funnily enough, they've just done a tie-in with Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's It's an online game, isn't it? It's all online.
Online, multiplayer only, so you have to sail with other people.
Prepare to get demolished by like 7-year-old kids.
Oh yeah, they're so we're as a crew we're terrible.
Oh, we are the worst. We are so bad at it. I don't think we've ever won against other players.
Even when we try to escape them, they still catch up with us. It's insane. Yeah, it's a multiplayer-based game. As Eddie says, you play it multiplayer. We've played it as a 4-person crew before on a giant boat, and it's the water physics are really good. The water physics are good. The sails are good. Eddie just tickling a pussy in the background there on the Zoom call, and they've done a team up for this next expansion or DLC with Disney, and Disney they're bringing Captain Jack Sparrow and the Pirates of the Caribbean to the Sea of Thieves. And
nice.
I'm kind of excited for it because it's something story based gameplay, and it looks like it'll be good fun to play with other people. But one of the things that's key about this was actually I was reading about Disney, and they were saying that they're they did their whole big deal with EA when they did the Star Wars license, and EA kind of hashed that up quite badly, like really badly, and then Disney have kind of stopped that now. I don't know if that deal's ended, but they've approached Ubisoft. They're making a game for them now for Star Wars, and they've kind of approached Rare and said, "Would you like Pirates of the Caribbean?" I'm not sure if we went to who, but what Disney have said is we now want to enable developers to use our properties. So you come to us with ideas, and we'll see what we can do for you. Which I think is really good because it means that we might finally get decent Star Wars games, or Sea of Thieves can use Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that.
You mentioned Rare. Are they the ones that make the game? Because they made a lot of Nintendo stuff back in the day.
They did. They made it's Rare. Rare are now owned by Microsoft.
Right.
And they're now Xbox, Microsoft Game Studios, basically. And they made Banjo and Kazooie. They made GoldenEye. They also made
Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing. They made a few other titles.
What a game!
And they're kind of. I quite like them, especially because they made Battletoads as well. So they've made a whole bunch of different games over the years, which is kind of cool.
They made controversial / amazing game, Conker's Bad Fur Day, which was based on A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, which is just mental.
Super weird.
It's super weird. So I was really excited by that. I was also excited by Flight Simulator, which is another Microsoft title.
Cool.
It's just the whole world. It's one of these games. I was speaking to Eddie about this, and Eddie's been playing a game called SnowRunner. Not really playing it, living it, and it's one of these games that if you like flying airplanes, or in SnowRunner's case, you just like driving trucks and like solving the problems with that, it gets you hooked, and you're just looking forward to just flying planes around places I've been. I just think it'll be fun.
Eddie, is this SnowRunner game? Is this SnowRunner game basically the Liam Neeson movie?
Yes, probably.
I think you get to that point because you do end up in Alaska on the ice roads. Yeah,
that's amazing.
The cover photo is that truck.
For in time. SnowRunner's off-road trucks stuck in mud. Drive, low range gears.
Nice. Duncan, my question about Flight Simulator. This might be a silly question. Is it in real time? So if you wanted to fly from London to New York, you'd have to wait 6 hours.
Yes, pretty much.
I feel like there's a skip function. Is there maybe?
There probably is nowadays. There never used to be.
That would be
I've not played the new one.
You just dead shot it straight to America. And then
is that not it though? You used to put it on autopilot and go to bed, and then wake up.
You could do. Yeah, people would do that.
I'm pretty sure people used to do that.
It's just one of these games that looks like fun, and especially the best bit was at the end of the trailer for Flight Sim coming to, and because it's coming to Xbox Series X, it'll obviously probably have a bit less fidelity. Like you obviously don't have as many controls as you do on a keyboard, so they'll have to work around that. But the DLC trailer at the end was for Top Gun Maverick. And you'll be able to fly F-14 Tomcats and then land them on aircraft carriers, and that's kind of I'll download that on Game Pass for free to play.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that looks
Consider
fun.
me interested and aroused.
It was funny because the trailer ends and you think, all right, that was cool. And then there's like a ocean shot and you're thinking, okay, that looks cool. And then the Top Gun bell hits.
Oh yeah, the dong
dong. And
but did you?
What's that?
Did you see? I was watching the trailer, and at the start of the trailer, when they were like playing like the kind of flight simulator music, for whatever reason, I was getting Top Gun like hints from just the general trailer music.
Yeah, so the whole thing's that trailer makes you just so amped for a game that is just flying planes around random parts of the world.
Did Eddie Van Halen suddenly turn up? Was he like, wow, wow. Great.
Wow.
Wow.
And then
you're
my
so
last
dominant.
one that I kind of liked was Starfield. I guess kind of following it, but there's not really a lot to say about that.
Starfield was a big one.
But we don't know enough about it yet, so I can't really.
Those of you listening that don't quite know our background, we're just casual gamers. We don't know a lot about video games. So when Starfield gets announced and everyone online goes absolutely mental for it, and we're like, all right, right on. Okay, this looks fun.
It looks fun. Skyrim in space, I'm down.
It's an RPG, Skyrim in space.
Yeah, I don't follow it enough to be hyped over something. I don't know anything. Like, still don't know a goddamn thing about it apart from it kind of looks like Mass Effect / Skyrim, and I'm in.
Yeah,
it sounds good.
And I'm in.
Come back to me when it's finished.
Is this an Xbox only as well? Was this the Xbox Direct?
Xbox only. Game Pass, and coming to Game Pass day one. So basically, Game Pass is making itself out to be the must-have game essentially.
Yeah. I looked at the PlayStation version of Game Pass just to see what they were offering, and they are not offering £1 for the first month. I think they're offering like £8 a month, or you can buy it in 3-month stages or a 12-month stage, like an annual stage. And then either each one you do, you save money or whatever. Like it's not going to be £8 a month. If you buy it for the year, you're actually spending £5 a month or something.
Oh, right. Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah. But I had a look at the games, and it's all mostly one-player games. And the Avengers game is like top of the list on their little Netflix menu, which is something I want to talk about. Because something on my list was the Guardians of the Galaxy game that was announced. Which, have you seen or played the Avengers game? Because it's made by the same people,
No.
I think.
I know a lot about it because one of my colleagues at work actually bought it when it was. He bought it for him, and he bought it because he's got a 7-year-old, so he's like prime target market for that sort of game. And he says it's just not like it takes. He says it takes too long. His review of the game was it takes too long to get anything done, and you spend half the game playing as the characters that you don't really want to play as because you really just want to go smash stuff up as the Hulk or play as the interesting ones, and it kind of forces you into like other characters, and you're like, no. But then eventually you can go back and do free roam. But the problem is it's kind of very samey. Like there's no emergent gameplay like you would get in Battlefield or Sea of Thieves, where like you can kind of go off and do daft stuff with your friends. You can't do that.
I saw that you have your own superhero, though. Like, they've made your own superhero, and you're part of the Avengers or something. This might be a different game that I'm thinking of. But I'm pretty sure
might be different, but
yeah. But if it's not, then I'm wrong. But I think it's the same people that made the Avengers game, and it has the same issue that I have with the Avengers game when I first saw the gameplay, which is it just looks like, because we're so used to all the actors that are playing in these Marvel movies, you're suddenly given like these bootleg video game versions, and they don't sound the same. They look different. And it doesn't sell it for me because I'm like, oh, that's not what Tony Stark sounds like. Or like, do you know what I mean? And it just kind of takes you out. It takes me out of it anyway. And although the game might be good and people are absolutely raving about it, it doesn't really seem something that I would really get. And then, like your mate said, like if you're forced to play one character for a mission, and you're like, I just would have liked to have played the Hulk in this mission. Like if you just get so stoked on Rocket or Groot,
but you can't play as them.
Okay,
that's what I was about to say. The one thing that kind of put me off it, I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy, that was like fun. And quick side note about the character voices and stuff is that I don't know how much, once it's back to Disney, I don't know how much they like have a say in it, because Marvel games seem to like all their kind of designs come from the comics. So like Gamora is an interesting one because, or Groot, because like she's in the movies it's like Zoe Saldana. I'm pretty sure she's like wears black a lot.
Yeah,
I think she wears like red maybe, but like in the comics she always wears like white.
Oh,
so it's like a complete flip, and you're like, wait, what? But Guardians, you only play as Star-Lord.
Oh, really?
I thought that. Yeah, I thought you're Peter Quill the whole time, aren't you?
Yeah, you're Peter Quill the whole time. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be as fun. Like, I kind of want to smash shit up as Groot.
Yeah,
or you know, play as Rocket.
Or stab some people with Drax.
Or just stab some people with Drax and Gamora. Yeah.
Be invisible.
Or be invisible. Yeah. Let nothing go over your head. You can't
play as Drax because his reflexes are too fast.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to. Just game would be pointless.
It absolutely would be.
Another thing that I found pointless from this E3, lovely segue, was the Elden Ring. I initially thought Elden Ring was a
Skyrim thing.
Skyrim thing, yeah, and I don't think it is.
Yeah,
is
me
it?
Too.
No,
it's not. Right. So I've got written here. It's co-written by George R.R. Martin, who's the Game of Thrones writer, which I thought was very interesting. Everyone went mental for this game, like huge hype online and on YouTube and things like that. But when I looked more into it, it looks a lot like a Souls type game.
It is. It's made by them.
Right.
It's
okay.
Made by them with George R.R. Martin.
Yeah. So like, it just seems like it's that really difficult game where like you need to sort of figure out how to kill this bad guy rather than just going slash and get the bar down. It's almost like, it was kind of what I didn't like about The Witcher as well. When I played The Witcher, it was you need certain things and certain potions and certain ways of doing something in order to progress, rather than the games I like to play, which is like Zelda, which is smash it until the health bar goes down and then you progress.
Which is fair enough. Yeah, it's weird. I don't like Souls. Have you ever played Dark Souls, Eddie?
No.
I'm
just looking at them now. I had no idea what you were on about.
They're just like third-person RPG games, and they're just notorious for being super hard, even on easy, basically. And it makes I don't mind the degree of difficulty in games. I think Souls though takes up, you've got to be all in on it. And you just die so goddamn easily. Yeah. Like, this is not something you can play for an hour after work.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to get frustrated and throw like...
Sounds like Ark.
Sounds like Ark.
I think it's genuinely something that a casual gamer probably shouldn't jump into, because if you're used to being like getting given 5 lives, and then, you died, try again, here's a checkpoint. I don't think there's any checkpoints. I think if you die, you're dead. And it's almost like, I got the idea that it was almost like harking back to the 90s games where it was basically taken from old arcade games. So there's no checkpoint. You can't save. If you die, you have to go straight back to the beginning.
But that was fine when you were in an arcade. But that's okay. And don't mind that. It's just, it kind of passes itself off as like an action RPG, and then it kind of makes it super difficult. I'm not sure this is for me, and but they've said the Elden Ring might be easier.
Okay.
Hey, might be easier. I mean, what percentage are we talking here? Because 5% easier of that easy difficulty is still not that easy.
That's amazing.
But I'm not that excited for it. I'm not that keen on it. But we'll wait and see. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. One of the other things, I've got 2 more to talk about. 2 of these ones I am stoked on, hella stoked, as the kids say. These 2 things drip, as the kids are saying right now, which is really weird. But anyway.
I don't know if drip is like a good thing.
Yeah,
I think it is a good thing.
Terrible.
It is. It's like that drips, bro. I don't know. I know it sounds bad, but apparently it's a good thing.
Gooey.
Gooey.
So moist.
Moist.
These are some moist games.
So moist it's dripping.
Moving on. So I'm talking about the Metroid Dread game that was announced, which is a huge deal for Nintendo. The two things that I'm stoked on right now is from the Nintendo Direct. First one being this Metroid game. They announced a couple of years ago Metroid Prime or something, or like the new Metroid was going to come out and they were working on it. But then when they announced this game, they announced Metroid Dread, which is a different title, obviously. But apparently, Dread has been announced way back from like 2004, and they never made it.
Right, okay.
So I think that's why everyone who's like a Nintendo fan was just like, "Oh my god, finally, Metroid Dread's out," and it looks awesome. It's a side scroller, but the graphics look amazing. Samus has a really cool new suit. It looks nice and quick. It looks like it will run really nicely on the Switch. They didn't announce anything to do with a Switch Pro yet, which I thought was strange. I thought E3 would have been the time that Nintendo kind of went, here's our upgraded Switch with like 1080p instead of 720, and some better Joy-Cons that don't disappear.
It's going to be 1080p on the handheld and then 4K on the telly, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, because right now it's just 1080 on the telly and 720 on the Switch.
That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Who wants to look at that? So I'm excited for it to go because I also want to kind of trade in my my Switch and get a better one. But yeah, this game's out on the 8th of October. I am pretty happy about it. I'm probably going to buy it. The thing that I love about my Switch is that it's portable, and I'm hopefully going to start flying again soon, and it is perfect thing to have on an airplane.
So especially if you're flying to Asia.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a good 12, 14-hour flight. So, not that I'll be going anywhere near India anytime soon, unless things get better.
Fair enough.
And then lastly, what I've been absolutely gagging for the last probably 6 years or however old this game is now. How old is this game? I'm of course talking about Breath of the Wild, which is a Zelda game. Duncan and Eddie are probably going to put in some sort of joke about Zelda's the one you play, right? Zelda's the green guy. No. Zelda's the princess. You are Link.
So you buy that game to play as a princess?
No, you save the princess.
It's just a phase he's going through just now, Eddie. It's fine.
All right, okay. It's understandable.
So, Nintendo finally announced that they're showing, or they finally showed some new footage from the new game, which is the Breath of the Wild sequel. We don't yet know what it's going to be called. It's just called the sequel. It might be called something else. They've got a possible. I don't think they'll do that. They've never really done that yet, so that's why everyone's kind of a bit scared. It will be the first ever Zelda game that's called Breath of the Wild 2. It'll probably be Legend of Zelda.
Breathe harder.
Something. Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, last breath. Oh no, it's ending. Oh, that goddamn time.
So they've announced that they want a possible 2022 release, but that's obviously probably going to change.
Maintain the hype that long?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can. I'm absolutely stoked on this. It showed a few things in the trailer. The map is basically the exact same map as before, except now apparently there's like things have started to float in the sky. So there's going to be possibly 2 maps. This is all speculation. I have no idea what's going on. I just took it from the trailer. A couple things I've heard people talk about is that the main bad guy in Zelda is a guy called Ganondorf, right? And the whole sort of Zelda thing is you're Link, Zelda's the princess, Ganondorf wants to capture her and get her powers because there's like 3 powers that are kicking about. And it seems like it's like a loop, like a time loop almost. So throughout the same game all the time, you're playing basically the same story, albeit at a different location or as a different person. I think you might actually finally be able to play all 3 characters in this game, which would be sweet in like a sort of GTA 5 type way. Maybe not exactly in a GTA 5 way, like where you can just skip and move. But for the first time, I actually think you might be able to play someone else other than Link, which is quite exciting for me anyway, and people that are interested in Zelda. You guys clearly aren't. I was having a look at Eddie's face there.
It's interesting because once you said the same thing about Zelda kind of being the same game, and I think Breath of the Wild was different because it was like free roam and there's loads of different things to do, which was really cool. But if Breath of the Wild 2 is the same map and they've just added a few extra pieces, and that's not saying it's going to be a bad game, But I was thinking about this about Nintendo recently. Nintendo need to, in my eyes, if you're making the Switch Pro and all that, they need to go out and start making either a new franchise or start making more games for their you need to, once the Nintendo console gets its Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Zelda.
Metroid,
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it. Once it gets those 5, that's kind of, and a Metroid, hopefully, then it kind of seals it off, and you're kind of like, well, that's that life cycle done. We'll just wait for the next one. They need to make more games. They're good at making games.
But what the Switch has been really, really good for, as a console and for Nintendo, is indie developer console.
Yeah.
The Switch has been they do their thing now called Nindies, which is Nintendo indie developers, and they showcase all these new indie games that they're going to start putting on the system. So in that sort of thing, their graphics and their stuff are way behind the likes of Xbox and PlayStation, but I feel like that's not what their goal is. And although I said the game is the same, the game's not the same all the time. The story is similar in the way that you're Link and you have to save Zelda, but the way in which the situation is different. So in Ocarina of Time, which is one of the best ones that they've made, you go through time a lot. You have to go into the future, you have to go back into the past. This one, you're in the same timeline, but you have to go and do this dungeon over here, which creates this monster, almost like a Megazord from Power Rangers. And it shines a beam of light into the castle. You go and you have to do all 4, and then you can go and fight the bad guy. But the cool thing about Breath of the Wild was there's no stopping you just going straight to the bad guy. But they give you these 4 Megazord things to help you out, basically. So the idea of the game is do this first and then go fight the bad guy. And although you said if it's the same map but also in the sky, what I also think is, although you can possibly play all 3 characters, I think you're also going to play in different parts of time. So you always get told this same story, but why are you always Link, but it's in the future, but you're Link, but it's in the past? I think that Ganondorf used to be the original, and you're now going to play... This might be the start of this whole timeline of Zelda games, where you are Ganondorf being the hero, and then you get corrupted and you turn into the bad guy, and then you start switching from his origin story almost, and then playing Link, which is technically the sequel. So you're basically a sequel and a prequel within the game of, if that makes sense.
This is why we don't do time travel, Morty.
Yeah, you can tell I'm excited for it. I can't wait. It's gonna be good. I've waited a long time for this game to come out.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm glad you're excited about it. It's fun. It's fun. It's once again, it's fun. E3 is great for this. It's great to kind of get excited about things you
exactly
didn't know or didn't think were gonna arrive. And speaking of that, Forza Horizon 5.
Oh yes.
Which I know Eddie loves a bit of Forza.
So the thing that annoys me most about the Nintendo is it's kind of what Duncan said. It's I'm playing. I did have a thing to say about the Nintendo, but then everyone just carried on and stopped talking about the Nintendo.
No, go for it.
You can go for it. Yeah, put your input in.
That's all right. It's all right. Don't want my opinion. That's okay.
Oh, we do.
Forza Horizon 5, Mexico.
Mexico.
Pretty hyped. I do feel like it's come really quickly. I feel like I've missed a Forza, but it turns out we have. I don't think we didn't have a Forza Motorsport, which was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
But and the next Forza Motorsport, interestingly, comes out in 2023. It has no number in the title. Every Forza Motorsport, bar from the first Forza Motorsport, was called Forza Motorsport. Everyone thereafter has been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I first got into Forza Motorsport 4. I think you'll remember that, Duncan. I played a lot of Forza in that house. So much Forza. Oh, Mustang
Forza
Mach
4.
Was it
I
the Mustang Mach 1 on the Nürburgring?
Yes. Yes, cars that had no business being on certain tracks were on certain tracks.
And in true Jeremy Clarkson fashion, it was all the power, none of the finesse.
Nice. No steering, just straight line speed.
Oh yeah, that's what the barriers are for. I'm joking. I don't play Forza like that. It's disgusting behavior.
That's amazing.
So yeah, but no, Horizon 4 came out in 2018, so it has been 3 years since we've had a Forza game. Mm-hmm. So it's about time. But, this looks pretty ace. World gets bigger, which is never a bad thing. Unlike Nintendo, who are scared to do it. But yeah, no, like on a map comparison, it's massively bigger, which should be good. And you're getting, it's kind of, Forza 4 was good in the UK. You got all the UK space places, which for being in the UK was really cool because you could drive around, you could recognize places. That was pretty cool, especially with it being, the main city being Edinburgh and having the Scottish Highlands and everything. That was ace. Cool. But this one looks like it's trying to get a bit of everything of Mexico. So you've got some jungle, you've got a volcano, you've got the desert, and then you've got the city. So it should be really good. There'll be a bit of something for everyone in there.
Is Forza now an open world game, basically, but you're just in a car rather than running around?
Yeah, this is the thing though. That's what the Forza Horizon title started doing. It's taking the Forza experience to open world, but you've still got Forza Motorsport, which is track racing.
Just a racing game,
where you just go and race tracks. Yeah. So, but no, a lot of people wanted Japan for this.
That would have been
which
cool.
would have been amazing. Just because the way the game's going and it's introduced all the drifting and that sort of type of car culture as well. It's quite big in Japan. So,
even for what's the new technology, Duncan, that they're talking about with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 with, is it frame scoping, frame mapping, something like that. Basically,
what do you mean?
Basically, the new technology allows like reflections and light and water.
Ray tracing.
What is it?
Ray tracing.
Ray tracing, not frame tracing.
It is literally, as it says in the title, it's a lot to do with light and how light reflects and where it reflects onto.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of it. It eats up a lot of processing power.
I think they've been using it for a wee while in Forza in the is it the Forza Vista?
Yeah, the showcase.
Pan around in the showcase and you view the cars and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a prime example of how it, a great way to do it, but you can do absolutely nothing. It's just in the showcase. Because it was just loading the car, and you need detailed models, but you need a lot of process. Reflections off of puddles and stuff. The mental stuff that you'd only dream of.
Which is why I think they're talking about it a lot in the new consoles because they have the power to do it. I think the ray tracing is just because they kept talking about it when the game that you bought that was a piece of trash, Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk came out, that was all about ray tracing. And I think with cars in particular, cars, and if it was in Tokyo with all those neon lights and all that glass, and like if you made it wet, that would just be so sick. But yeah,
like Forza, the graphics in Forza are still incredible.
Yeah,
like
they're pretty good.
When you see some people on Reddit love to take pictures of their cars in Forza as if it's real life, as if they've been out and taken real life pictures of a car. It's a fucking video game.
Can you go into like camera mode?
Yeah, you can go into camera mode. It's incredibly sad. But some of the pictures look, some people who've got it on the money, but the whole thing
Are you one of these people, Eddie?
Oh no, because they post on Reddit. It's like, what do you guys think of this picture I took of my car on Forza? I was like, well done, you took a screenshot. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
In like farm like somewhere else.
I went out in the world. I went out and parked in a lay-by and took a picture of my own BMW.
Yeah, no, people do that.
I know my dad's whole Instagram is that.
No, Bamborough Castle and all that. People, there's been a whole spate of people in the UK parking up next to something that's also in the game and trying to do like a side by side.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh yeah, they make I think my favorite thing, I think we've talked about this before. My favorite thing about it is when they go, I've always wanted to make my car in Forza, and it's like, oh, what's your car? Oh, it's the starter Civic, and you're like, you realize there's like Koenigseggs and like Ferraris and shit like that.
But yeah, so I was reading someone's opinion though on this, as we all do. You take someone's opinion and run with it. That's now my opinion.
Cool.
Is that maybe it's for the best that Japan doesn't come yet, because hopefully the next one will be fully on Series X, because I think this one's still going to bridge like Xbox One, Series X.
Yeah, they're still kind of making one
you
for
want,
the
you want the
previous
next
console.
one to be fully. You want one that you're excited for to be fully Series X, and then hopefully it does give them time to get some of the cool like Japanese manufacturers in for like the key cars and body kits, because they got all. Well, there's Liberty Works and and all that. But there's so much more in Japan, and all the different weird wheel manufacturers they've got, alloy wheels. I would add another hour to my setting up a car having to pick alloy wheels from Japan. So, but no, I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited to play. Hopefully, it's just another thing that means we can forget that something like Forza Street ever happened. We'll have a spit on it. And they tried to bring they tried to bring Forza to mobile gaming.
Oh, fuck off. Before we move on, Eddie, what's your opinion on white or like alloy colored alloys or black alloys? What's your opinion? What would you go in a Forza game?
It depends what the car is.
It does a lot of the time. It depends on the car.
Really?
But I would normally paint my alloys. What do I do?
Just because I feel like if you paint an alloy black, you don't see as much detail in it.
No, but sometimes that's quite nice
silver.
Because then the light catches the alloy.
Oh, okay.
Silver's just a bit bland.
It does look a bit bland.
Sometimes silver works though. Sometimes definitely, I agree with Duncan. Depends on the alloy.
Yeah, I would say about Forza, one of the cool things that you say about the Series X, actually, something just occurred to me. With Forza Horizon, usually comes after the Motorsport, and Turn 10 are the guys that make the Motorsport one, and they're constantly improving the physics and the engine that Horizon actually. I think they must share data, and I wonder if you're maybe not doing Japan because they want Motorsport to come out with the next gen car tech in game, and then they'll be able to port that over and then make Japan properly.
It's funny because Horizon is a driving simulator, but not in the same realm as a driving simulator, really, because it's controller. It's best played on a controller. If you try and play Horizon on a steering wheel and pedals, it's pretty difficult because it's all geared to make it more accessible and fun for someone to pick up a controller and just go skidding and just drive across. Trying to merge that driving on tarmac with driving on dirt, it's quite hard because they know that on a actual motorsport they can just drive on tarmac and they just have to gear all the physics to driving on tarmac.
That's true.
Have you ever done the game in Forza? I only saw this from like a YouTube video that was recommended to me, and it was a guy. It was like a game you play in the city of Edinburgh, and you have to select. Everyone's like a police car or a really fast car that they've done up, and you are a regular car, and you have to blend in with the AI and not get caught, and you have to get from one end of the map to the other end of the map, and you just go so slowly, and you're just like, and then all these cars like fly past you looking for you. It looked quite like that's not even racing. That just looks like really good fun.
No, that must be like in the playground games, but
yeah,
because they're quite good for that. They've got all the races, but then they've also got a whole section like playground games where they ring off a section of the map and you play like infected. So someone's infected and you've got to spread it in your team, capture the flag in cars.
Oh, sick!
Quite fun.
Nice.
Quite fun. But no, so that's number one most anticipated thing from E3.
Is that Xbox only?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all good things.
All good things. Coming to Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
As well. So for free.
Son of a bitch.
Number two, no surprise, being Battlefield.
We talked a lot about it last week.
A lot about that. Yeah. Immensely excited for. The gameplay trailer was incredible. It was everything I think we discussed last week and everything we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Can I just stop you there? The thing you talked about on the pods before, just so this is down on media, before it even launched, we pretty much predicted a lot of what happened in that trailer.
Yeah.
In terms of like gameplay. The fact that when they were I freaked out in the trailer when they were packing the quad bike full of C4. And I was like, we called that. And then like launching it off and it exploding way before it hit the helicopter.
Yeah. So they've done really well for creating a trailer and gearing up all the advertisement to knowing exactly how people are going to play it, which is very well done. It's knowing your audience, that because people want a game that they want to go and play, and that's been the problem with the last two Battlefields. Is it Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5? It's kind of, it's not what people have wanted. And I watched the Battlefield thing at E3. It's the first like 15 minutes of it, because I didn't really have an hour and a half of my life to sit watching it. But the guys were saying, they were saying that, fuck, I've lost my train of thought.
Oh, damn.
Did they say that? That's amazing.
And then they just paused, or maybe he's just, no, he's blinking, it's fine.
Yeah.
They were talking a lot about, they looked back on previous Battlefields.
I've got it, yeah. So, yeah, the guys were talking, and what they've done a lot is they realised that Battlefields 3 and 4 were some of their most played Battlefields, and so they wanted to go back and get a hand, take a grab of all the good bits of that and bring that across to the new one with the modern sort of warfare technology, which, to be honest, looks like they've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
some of the stuff's really exciting. They were talking about as well with the way it's played is the map, because they're fully aware that the maps are just absolutely going to be massive. And then they're talking about clustering up points, so you can go and just like focus on taking a cluster point, a point of like objectives in a cluster, or you can just zip around everywhere. But no, one of the cool things in the trailer was what you mentioned last week, Duncan, was you'll be able to change your kit out mid-life, which is massive. That's massive for Battlefield, because that's always been a pain. Just the other night we were playing, weren't we? And I was like, oh no, I've got a sniper just as we've moved to the next base. So I've got to kill myself so that I can spawn out with something good, because I'm not going to try and do close quarters fighting with a flipping sniper rifle. And some people are good enough to do it, not me.
Yeah, the ability to swap out the muzzles and stuff, that is going to be cool. Like,
the way they shot that as well, of the 4 guys going into the elevator, and then it's just the elevator music, and it's like, it's so good.
Really good.
I think they have to be credited as well, like you said. They not only have the trailer had moments that you want to do in Battlefield, but actually it's the first time I've ever seen a cinematic trailer come out, and then a gameplay reveal come out 2 days later, and the stuff in the cinematic trailer was actually done
in the game.
Yeah. That's the first, and it was looked. Obviously it's not cinematic, but it was carbon copy, and you're kind of thinking, "Oh, that's impressive. Like, that's a good effort."
When you're watching the cinematic trailer, I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, this looks like the game's pretty much ready, and they've just actually filmed the game. They've not like gone and animated stuff specifically for a trailer. It looks like they've just gone and this is what we need to do. Right, someone play it and do it, and we'll capture all the angles of you doing it, which was pretty impressive. Like
it was very like the gameplay trailer also was very well shot. The whole transition of your guy sort of looks at a tank and the camera goes into the tank, and now you suddenly see the tank in third person. It was very, very well done. I'm stoked for this.
Yeah. Battlefield and Forza, 2 games I'm hyped for this year. 2 things I'm not hyped for. Outer Worlds 2 doesn't look like something I'll be interested to. This is highly opinionated. Doesn't look like something I'll be interested in. But the teaser trailer was damn cool. Basically just giving you a whole load of generic, we're doing this now, we're doing this. Doing this will improve pre-game sales. Is quite funny. Quite a funny take on a teaser trailer.
Yeah. Have you seen that trailer, Roy?
I've not seen it, no.
Yeah. So it's like it really says, it starts off with like, we start off with an expansive shot of the planet. This makes our game look big and bold, and will obviously boost pre-orders.
That's amazing.
Shot of man running with gun through corridor. This implies that there will be action in our game.
So they've dumbed it down for like people.
Yeah. And then it pans out on a single character, and it's like, we're not showing you any close-ups of people because that shows that this game is not finished already. Also, that the storytellers have no idea what the story's going to be.
There's a giant creature. It looks alien. It looks cool. Will it be in the final game? Probably not.
That's so good. I'm going to watch this later on.
What's the last bit when he goes, but yeah, we haven't actually done anything, but we have got a name. And then it just cuts to like the World 2.
Outer Worlds 2.
So it was like a fairly entertaining teaser trailer.
Nice. What is Outer Worlds?
Enough to boost. Is it a Bethesda thing?
Yeah, it was made by Obsidian, who were the guys that made Fallout New Vegas, and they also made. Did they make South? Part of me makes me think they had a hand in the South Park RPG.
Is it an RPG? It's like a space RPG.
Yeah, it's like a space RPG. It's kind of like a Mass Effect-y Borderlands, but it's kind of got a humor that's very dark, sort of dark humor, but also kind of like satirical. Like it does a lot of that. So that trailer's very on point for Obsidian. Like their last game they also make is a game called Grounded, which is like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, but played a bit like Ark or Minecraft, where you can build your world, but it's kind of like a Bug's Life crossed with Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Okay. And the trailer for it said, if you're waiting for Game of the Year, you're probably waiting for Cyberpunk. But in the meantime, you might want to try waiting for this.
Damn, Duncan, how do you know that like Obsidian had a hand in South Park? How do you remember stuff like that?
Dude,
I just thought the RPGs.
Unreal.
I was like, yeah, do you know they had made South Park?
Do you know what Outer Worlds is reminding me of? I don't know if you guys ever played this game. And now I've lost my train of thought. Crap, what's the game called? BioShock.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever play BioShock?
Yeah, tried.
It reminds me of BioShock because of the sort of timeline. It's almost kind of weirdly like in the 50s, but space.
Yes, it's very much that Fallout. For Fallout kind of was like, in the game's Fallout universe, obviously the atomic sort of lifestyle from the concepts of like the 60s, where they thought the near future was going to be like atomic cars and stuff. That's the way the world went. And that's kind of exactly what they did with Outer Worlds, is they took that kind of idea and then ran it into space. Like the whole thing's run by like corporations and everyone's just working their lives away. It's quite like I said, it's kind of dark, satirical. Yeah, bit steampunky, bit space. It's good fun. But Outer Worlds 2 will be better.
What's nuts is the Outer Worlds only came out in 2019.
It's a new game.
Well, I suppose that's probably why it's such a teaser trailer, because they're not anything.
That's why they're like, we've not even finished it. We don't know what the story is. We don't know who this man is. He's probably not going to be in the game.
But they got bought by Microsoft, so that's probably why they're like, oh well, Microsoft bought us, so now I guess that we can say that we can make it because we don't have to make any money anymore.
Mm.
And then finally, things that I'm not looking forward to: Frontiers of Pandora. I think we talked about it last
game looks like hot garbage.
Yeah, it's just like another game where a thing for me is having time to play these games where the stories are really long. So there's so many games coming out.
Yeah,
who actually has time?
Yeah.
Clearly, there's people that do. I'm not one of them.
People that work in the gaming industry.
Something I do have time for is backing up this old trailer for trailer time. Trailer time.
No beeping in that one as well. Welcome everybody to Trailer Time, a podcast within a podcast where Eddie talks about his favorite trailers of the week. Shoot, go. Just you. Well, no, okay. you can start it off.
No, you said it now. No, you said it now. Shut up.
Shut
up. I'm joking. Nah, I'm joking. So one trailer that I am pretty came out of nowhere for me is a game, but it wasn't announced at E3. So
I think you're going to mention this, and I think it's so funny. Go.
I Am Fish, right?
Yes.
I watched the trailer. I didn't actually watch the trailer for this. I was mindlessly scrolling YouTube one lunchtime and came across a 20-minute playthrough of this game called I Am Fish. I was like, I'm going to watch that. Oh my God, addicted. Absolutely watched the whole 20 minutes, went and watched the gameplay trailer, then tried to find out when it's ready to play.
Can I jump in? From a man that just said you didn't have an hour and a half to watch a keynote about Battlefield, but you watched 20 minutes of someone play I Am Fish.
Had a full 20 minutes to watch someone do like 3 levels of I Am Fish. I was in. I turned to my boss. My boss goes like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "This game looks ace." He went and watched the full 20-minute playthrough on his own, on his PC.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, like,
what's your take from it?
Mega excited. Well, it looks like kind of like mindlessly addictive.
It's like Goat Simulator.
Yeah, the Goat Simulator took a bit of effort and got a bit tough.
Yeah,
kind of didn't have the patience for it.
For people who haven't quite seen it, try to explain I Am Fish for the listeners.
So there's 4 fish. They're 4 fish friends that are pals in like an aquarium, and they get split up into different houses. So they have to try and get back together in the sea. I think the whole end game is getting to the sea. So it's kind of like different levels. You're just doing individual levels, and they're kind of like time trial type things. So there's one fish is like a flying fish, so obviously it can jump out of the water and glide along. Another fish is a puffer fish. It can puff up and roll like a ball. Another one's a piranha fish. I'm not quite sure what kind of, apart from biting people. And then there's another one is just like a little Nemo fish.
A clownfish.
Yeah,
clownfish,
but it's not a clownfish.
Oh, is it just a standard goldfish? It is just a goldfish,
Standard goldfish, yeah, and it just like flails about. But no, so you start off and then time trial missions. It looks like it takes a bit of. I was watching the guy play it, and he kept having to replay stuff. He's got his checkpoint, so you can get so far and fuck up and start again. Fish dies. What should the fish die the first time? So sad. It's just like just dies, just lying there flapping, can't breathe because drowning in oxygen. But yeah, no, actually, out of nowhere, super excited.
I'm gonna make your day.
Game
and
Pass.
how you're gonna kill your time for the rest of the evening. No, there's a demo out just now on Steam.
Yeah, see, it's all on PC
I've just clicked download. I'm gonna start playing it.
So yeah, it's all on PC at the moment, but
it's coming to Xbox.
The trailer I watched was that it's coming to Xbox. So yeah,
I'm
hoping it's just go straight to Game Pass.
Now I really need to get an Xbox.
I am fish.
I think it might. No, if it's Steam and PC, it probably won't come to PlayStation.
So if
my boss has a PlayStation, he said it's coming to PlayStation.
If they're separated from the aquarium, how do they get around? Paddles
in a ball.
So yeah, they start off in a bowl, and then eventually you're just going from like water source to water source. It was quite interesting.
So it's kind of like that scene from Finding Nemo when they're trying to get out of the fish tank.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Someone watched Finding Nemo one night and then made a game out of it.
There's a game.
From that one scene where they're in the bags, he's just gone, I've got a whole game here. People are going to love it. I'm not sure they are, Max. They are.
One thing that I think Duncan's going to love is a movie you've written in the show notes, but you've not put a link to it. Is there a trailer? You've written He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
He-Man trailer.
I've not seen. You didn't put a link, so I've not been able to find it.
Apologies. I think I wrote it down. I wrote it down after last week because I was kind of scoping things out, and I never actually added it in there. Yeah, it's He-Man Revelations. It's coming to Netflix. It's basically the continuation of He-Man and Masters of the Universe. It just looked kind of cool and fun. It reminded me of my childhood because I watched the reboot of it years ago. It's written by. There's controversies around it, but it's written by or overseen by Kevin Smith.
Cool.
All right.
Of Clerks and Mallrats.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It just looks cool. I will send the video.
Is it an animation?
Yeah, it's animation. It kind of looks like your Saturday morning cartoons.
Cool. And Mark Hamill's in it, you've written down.
Mark Hamill's playing Skeletor, so that's always going to be fun.
He loves playing bad guys now, after being like the world's most lovable,
coveted good guy. Yeah,
good guy. Yeah.
Why is that not posting as a link? But I will do that.
That's all right.
But we can move on to the next one. I will send you a link for it. But yeah, it looks fun.
Free Guy. Free Guy is this Ryan Reynolds movie where he's basically like an AI in a video game, but doesn't.
NPC in Grand Theft Auto.
That's it. NPC in Grand Theft Auto, but he doesn't know it until he's given some special glasses and then sees what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically playing Ryan Reynolds again.
Yeah.
He's
kind of put himself into a bit of a you're a one character actor, but people are happy with it right now.
But like, I don't understand. The trailer for this came out feels like at the start of the pandemic.
Years ago,
this came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have the girl from Killing Eve though, and we were saying that she needs to be in a film.
Yeah.
And there she is, Jodie Comer. Is that her name?
Jodie Comer.
Yeah.
No, it's actually pronounced Jodie Comer.
Disgusting scout.
Where's she from? Oh, there it is. It looks good. It's kind of the same thing as the Hitman's Bodyguard. It kind of looks like Ryan Reynolds is playing Ryan Reynolds. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is great, but he's kind of Deadpool but playing another character. I mean, you may as well just dress him up as Deadpool and had this as Deadpool 3.
True.
Yeah. It would have made just as much sense.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It would be like what you guys describe as like a Friday night, nothing else on type movie.
Oh, Friday night for you to film.
I will watch it. I probably will look it out. And watch it. Because I want to watch it quite early doors, but
I think if you've played video games like GTA, you might relate to it a bit more. But I think it's definitely just like it is directed at the gamers and being like, here's a movie for you, a video game movie that's actually quite good, maybe, because we haven't had one yet.
And I have
I don't have that was a terrible movie.
What was that?
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, Assassin's Creed.
And I don't have high hopes for the Uncharted movie either. So
no, definitely not. Featuring our favorite actor,
Marky
one
Mark.
of our favorite, Marky Mark, playing.
Hey,
Mark
Donkey,
Wahlberg,
say hello to your mother for me, all right? Let's go save Africa or whatever he does in Uncharted.
I cannot wait to hear him do his whole I hope he has exposition about like the treasures of Francis Drake and stuff like that, because that's just going to be a real test.
Yeah, I mean, have you played the games, or is this just a coincidence that you've mentioned Francis Drake?
I have. Well, I've played one. I think I played the first one, and I
because he's like a descendant of, which is in the story.
PS4. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I knew it was because he was called Nathan Drake. So yeah. I remember looking at the first one years ago, but I never played the rest of them.
Yeah.
I know
you could just imagine really Mark Wahlberg being like, "You're the ancestor of Francis Drake. You got to go on these exhibitions. You got to go save Africa and find a thing, and it's all
the wonders of life.
And say hello to your mother for me, right?" It's a terrible Mark Wahlberg impression. Moving on to
you just cut to Ryan Reynolds going, "But why?
But why?" Yeah. Moving on to a trailer that genuinely looked fucking amazing, and I was completely taken aback by it. Did not expect this movie to have gripped me so much. I'm talking about. Oh, you've deleted it. What's it called?
Right. No, you want to go on it then? Go on it then. Sorry.
Boss. What is it? Boss mode.
Boss level.
Boss level. It looks mental.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It reminded me of a film. It reminded me Palm Springs. It was I was like, I swear I've seen this recently.
That sort of Groundhog Day, same day over and over again.
Looks brilliant though. I'm well excited for that.
What's the other one?
It does. It looks like I was surprised at the main actor. I don't have his name written down here.
Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo. He's the bad guy from the Avengers movie from Ultron.
And
then later on he turns up again, I think.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. He's a Captain America villain.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen him in anything else. This is the first time I've seen him pop up ever since. But like, he's actually a pretty decent comic actor.
Yeah, he's one of these guys that has been in the business for. You'd be surprised what he's actually in. You just don't realize it. He's in The Purge. I watched him in the Shield, the TV show The Shield, the cop drama. He's actually one of the beat cops in it. It was only when we started watching it recently, I was kind of looking at the guy on the screen. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Frank Grillo! What's he doing? What's he doing here?"
Unrelated to
Dark 30.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Unrelated to Marvel Shield. It's a different Shield.
Yeah, different Shield. But yeah, it looks fun. I'm excited for it.
Nice one. It looks really good. It reminds me of like a Scott Pilgrim versus the World type movie as well.
Yep.
Where like he has to defeat these bad guys because these bad guys keep killing him, so he has to like respawn almost in a video game and then keep doing it. And then also we have the arrival of Mel Gibson once again, just laying out his sweet acting chops.
She's the boss.
It's this image of just Mel Gibson just rocking up. Mel wasn't even supposed to be in the film, but he was here, so he just rocked up and started acting on the set. So
he's actually
it's just so lucky that George was filming that day.
George was filming that
day. He's actually not acting. He thinks this man is actually dying and respawning all the time.
yeah, that's my concern.
All of Mel Gibson just drugged up, has no idea what's happening.
But we can
surprise. He's going to be in Loki.
Mel Gibson.
No, Frank Grillo.
Oh, Frank Grillo. Yeah, that probably makes sense.
It's on Wikipedia.
That's very cool.
Well, be cool.
One episode. Archive footage. All right, so it'll be like archive footage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. But speaking of great actors, did you see the Pig trailer?
I haven't.
No. But this also sounds quite...
understand what's going on.
It sounds scary, like when Nicolas Cage was in the movie Wicker Man.
I don't know what it's about. It looks like he goes like John Wick on people because they stole his truffle pig, and it makes absolutely. It He basically, the trailer ends, he's like, "Where's my pig?" And you're kind of like, fuck. Like,
dude, that was so good. That was a great Nicolas Cage impression.
Oh, that's good. Probably can't do that again, so I've got it on audio.
Yeah, we've got it. You don't have to try again. It's fine.
Got it. Oh, that's good. That's good.
So
but yeah, it looks good fun.
He kills a bunch of people because they stole his pig.
That's the thing. You don't actually see any real. There's like one shot of like him fighting somebody, and I just don't know what this film's about. One thing you can say about Nicolas Cage, he's never boring, and I just don't know what this film's going to be about. But the trailer gives you this idea. He's at the door, and then the door gets kicked in, and he gets knocked out, and someone steals his pig, which is very John Wick. Then he goes into the town and speaks to someone, and then he's just basically walking around, speaking to restaurant owners and stuff, and it looks like very mafia-esque. I don't know. It just looks like one of these films that could be either brilliant or terrible. Nicolas Cage, good. Nicolas Cage, bad.
We'll have to watch it to find out.
Who knows?
Yeah. Is he the greatest actor ever to walk the earth? Probably. Because we don't know if he's good or not.
I don't know either. It's just one of these things that I remember we talked about. We were like, what is he up to? And we were looking through his films. I saw this one called Pig. And then the trailer came up on YouTube. I was like, oh, well, gotta watch this.
It looks good. I'm going to watch it when I haven't actually seen the trailer yet, but I'll watch it when we finish the pod. I'm always excited for a Nicolas Cage movie. The last movie that I absolutely loved was National Treasure. What a man. What a great man. There's an Uncharted movie for you.
Gone in 60 seconds. He would have made a brilliant Sully in Uncharted.
He would have been a good Sully.
With a doing exposition.
Nice.
Yeah, we were talking about Nicolas Cage the other day. We were talking about Con Air and The Rock. We're talking about the great, like, our favorite 80s and 90s action films.
Who's we? You and Kat?
Me and Kat we're also talking about them at work because we had like a giant tournament bracket that we printed out, and we were trying to find the best one.
Oh, very good. Lots of work going on
for the podcast. We could do that. Yeah, it was a slow afternoon. That'd be a good one for us to do. We could talk through our favorite 80 at some point.
That'd be very cool. We could write that down in the segments idea. Yeah. Shall we end it there, boys? There's a lot of
Nicolas Cage in there. I think so.
Nice one. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, leave a review, subscribe, click the like button. Anything that you do and whatever you're listening to, just do something with it. Click it. See what happens. And if you'd like to contribute to the topics of the podcast, you can always write in at the email. Our email address is that'sclasspod@gmail.com. You can also contact us sliding into the DMs on Twitter or Instagram, which is, again, just that'sclasspod. If you want to contribute to the topics, you can add your topics and we'll read them and we'll probably put them in a future episode. You can also catch our faces the following Wednesday. This episode is uploaded every Monday morning for your commute, but you can watch us on YouTube on the Wednesday after that if you want to put faces to the voices and instantly regret making that decision. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like and subscribe, guys.
All those subscribes, everyone.
Mash that button.
Massive thank you for listening. I hope you have a super day. Say goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Duncan.
And as Eddie says at the end of every episode of That's Class,
I just stole 50 cars in one night. I'm a little tired, a little wired, and I think I deserve a little appreciation.
Bravo.
Bravo.